Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. Well, I bet you guys didn't know I picked up an X-Carve for the workshop. I have a lot of projects around the shop that I want to take care of, and that would include building some tool holders, a lot of organizational parts for the workshop and for my tools. So I thought this would be a great addition to the shop. And in today's video, I would like to install the optional Z-axis touch probe kit, and that's fairly straightforward. It just includes mounting the Z-axis wiring and connecting it to your X-Carve controller, and the actual touch probe itself will hook up when we want to go ahead and zero out our tool. So before you begin the install, make sure you have all the related parts. The kit is fairly inclusive. You get a wire, a plug. You get the plug that plugs into the gantry, a ground, and your actual touch probe itself. Now the thing that I wasn't sure about, which fortunately was included with my X-Carve does not have limit switches. I guess whoever bought it did not include that option, and that's fine for me for right now. But I was able to find this connector in the pile of parts that I got with the X-Carve, and this connector will actually connect into the controller, and it will allow me to plug in the sensor probe, positive and negative wire, so I can go ahead and actually connect it. So starting the operation, if you look at your gantry, you're going to find a recessed hole, and that's where you're going to go ahead and plug this wire in. It's a matter of unloosening it. I guess we'll find the right wrench. Alright guys, so I was able to find the right socket and wrench. What we're going to do is we're going to run this up behind the gantry and install it. They do provide you with a lock washer, and we're going to go ahead and get this on and tighten her up. Okay, this nut is covered with plastic, but I was able to get the next size wrench up there to get on it and tighten it. Now we're gonna have to route it through the drag chain. Sorry about that, kicking it. This is fairly simple until we get to this curve. I guess we'll just at that point pull it out, wiggle our way through. What's nice about the new X-Carve drag chain is it unclips. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and pop off some of these drag chains clips so we can get this around this bend. Hopefully this will do it. Once we get it through the drag chain, I'm going to go ahead and use some plastic wire ties and tie it into the gantry with the rest of the wires. Well, so far that's what I call easy. Okay guys, so we have it wired over to the other side of the gantry. We're going to just snap these clips back in on the drag chain. Fantastic. Okay guys, so we have the X controller here, and this is where we're going to plug it in. I guess this would be all the limit switches, which we don't have. Mist and flood coolant, which I don't really think we would need, and a spindle if we had a variable speed spindle. That's pretty cool that they have all that stuff. But actually it looks like this would fit on this side here. This is not the right one. That's where it would fit. But in my case, for now, I can just wire it up, the probe and the ground. And I'll have to go look and see if I can find the other one. Okay, so I went ahead and searched through my box of goodies that I got with the machine, and I cannot find this other terminal strip. So it looks like I'm going to go ahead and order from X-Carve or Inventables. In the meantime, I'm going to use this terminal strip to wire up my touch probe. Very simple. The wires are already pre-soldered, so it's a nice time. Just make sure you put them in all the way and tighten down, and we should be good to go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wire the rest of this up, get it connected to the laptop, and then we'll go ahead and see if it works. Well, that was a slightly interesting development. Apparently this board that holds the X, Y1, Y2, and Z axis plugs slid forward. So I actually had to pull the back of the unit apart to get to it. I'm not really sure why that would do that, but I actually had to clip two of them in there so I could go ahead and because I'm afraid if I didn't plug these in and clip them in, the board would slide forward again while I try to push the other two in. So I'm not going to investigate that right now. Let's see if it works. Alright, we're going to tighten this back up. Of course, I don't want to break anything before I even get it started. But that is my luck sometimes. And these two cables are shorter, so we're going to have to go ahead and turn this around and try to get these two in. This is the X axis. So this will plug in here. And of course it's that's going to be a pain. Looks like it's in now. And just let's see if we get the Z in there. If we can get the Z axis in, I think we'll be home free. I'm sorry if I'm out of frame here, I can't tell. What's going on? No, I think we're gonna have to take this apart and see what's happening here. These wires are too short with the drag chain. I'm very surprised why I can't get this last one in. Let me try one more time. Okay, alright. Looks like she's in. Alright, that's good. Get the X controller back over here. Alright, fellas. Now I guess it's just a matter of turning it on and let's see what happens. Okay guys, so decided to go handheld for a moment here. As you were seeing a few moments ago, I was having trouble plugging the X and the Y axis in because this board was pushed back kind of far into the X-Carve. And apparently what had happened was there is a, if you look in here, there's two screws that should be in here and they weren't, and that was allowing this board to go past and into the machine. See, there's one on each side, and I'm gonna have to figure out where these screws are, if they have them. I might have some. And there was another problem. The E-stop was kind of loose and it was kind of twisting around. Whoever assembled this didn't tighten the nut on the E-stop, and subsequently what happened was it actually broke the wire to this terminal. And that's why when I was plugging it in, I was not getting a power light to the front, nor was my computer recognizing it. So fortunately, at first I was worried that whoever sold this to me sold it to me with a bad motherboard, and that might have been why I got it for the price I got it. And it's quite possible that they actually did think that the motherboard was bad or something was wrong because that wire was broken on the E-stop. So I was able to put a new connector on it. It's really not the proper connector. It was a little bit too fat to fit in there, so I actually had to cut it in half and just kind of jam it in there and screw it down. But the unit is operational. All the green lights are on. And what I had did was I actually checked for voltage on these the two terminals, the screw head terminals inside, and I did get voltage to both, 24 volts. But then when I tried to probe out this power connection here, I couldn't get any voltage, and I didn't know if my probes were going into that socket deep enough or what. But anyway, I kind of wiggled it around and found that this wire just kind of fell right off. You can see the offending part right there, and you can actually see where it was broken. So my spate terminals, or actually my terminal collection in general, is just really old, and I guess these got a little bit more smaller. I think for the meantime, though, it is in there secure, and now the E-stop is secure, the button's secure. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I have to do to get these screws in there, if I have them. And at that point, we're going to get this thing together, and we're going to try to do just a little test carve for now. And I guess I'll be placing another order to Inventables. Alright, we finally have the machine repaired, so let's get back to what we were originally going to do and finish setting up the Z probe for the spindle. I'm logged into Inventables. I know that if we had Mach 3, if this was a Mach 3 machine, or if it was any other CNC type machine, we'd have a utility to test the probe, to test, you know, the Z probe. So we're logged into Inventables and we're setting up our project. We've measured the material and we've confirmed it. We've clamped the material down. We've chosen our bit. Now we're going to go and zero our work. So we don't have to do it manually. We're going to do it with the Z probe set. So we've jogged the machine over the material. That's already done. We're confirming the position. Let's go ahead and plug the Z probe in. This is to where we actually put the plug on the gantry. We're going to set the Z probe underneath the work, and we're going to go ahead and clip the clip onto the spindle. So we're going to check off spindle or clip is attached. Now it wants us to go ahead and verify that it's working by touching the Z probe to the tool, and the light should light up when we do it. And the checkbox did, and it went to the next step. So we put the touch plate in place. Now we can start probing. Now the machine's going to do it automatically by itself. And there you go, simple as that. So definitely a win. I'm glad we were able to figure this out. Now we can mess around and get to carving. Well guys, for our first carve, I think this turned out great. I believe it will be really useful in the workshop. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Stick around, I'll be making a lot more of these videos in the future. And as usual, I hope you guys are doing something great in your shop. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.